Caller from area code 951. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Jason. This is Chris, and I'm calling from the San Diego area, California.
Hello, Chris. Calling in from San Diego. What's on your mind?
I just want to say that in regards to this broadcast, I can respect that you have certain opinions about Black people, the upliftment of Black people, but this woman found somebody that loved her, and she went where she was celebrated. In general, Black men are not checking for a Gabby Sanibi. They're not. She found love where she found it. And I think having a broadcast where you're mocking somebody who just found love.
I didn't mock. I haven't mocked anybody.
Humanity.
I haven't mocked anybody. Don't bring up falsehoods on my program. I haven't mocked anybody. I spent the entire first 30 minutes of my program talking about Black men, what we need to do, ma'am. I didn't mock anyone. So first and foremost, let's not get on my program mischaracterizing my statements. That's a very bad way to start a conversation, Chris.
The entire broadcast.
Or should I say, Christelyn?
Yes, you can say my name.
The world's most infamous swirling, ass-kissing, white ass-kissing bedwench. Welcome to the business.
So now we're being insulting.
No, ma'am, that's a statement of fact. That's not an insult. Be the best white ass kisser you can be. We don't hate on you here. We don't hate on the girls who swirl. We don't hate on the chicks who do slave play. We don't hate on none of y'all, baby. Be the best bedwench white ass kisser you can be. You ain't gonna get nothing but respect for that. Now, if you start becoming a liar, we can't respect that. But let's just keep it all on the table, baby. We ain't no hate here. We don't hate hoes. No.
That's reassuring.
We don't hate hoes here. We don't hate chicks in their.
Hoe is insulting?
No, ma'am. Oh no, we don't hate hoes here at all. Absolutely not. No, baby, you're in the wrong place you're in the wrong place to think about that. But we don't hate hoes. We don't hate niggas. We don't hate players. We don't hate punks. We don't hate nobody. Everybody is free here.
That's great.
Everybody is free here to be what they are. But the rule is you got to be what you are. Don't get offended when they call you what you are. Now, you don't get to perpetrate something you're not. Now, that's what you don't get to do. You just got to be real with it. That's all.
Nobody can make you feel less than unless you let them. So go ahead.
There's nothing to feel less than about it. It is what it is.
And I don't.
So that's all.
I don't.
Man, nobody's here for that. That's it. Now you had something you wanted to say.
That's great. I do. I think that women who struggle with their weight, particularly Black women who struggle with their weight, I do try to coach Black women, tell them that they need to seek whatever treatment they have psychologically that may cause it, exercise more, eat better. I have a garden. I grow my own food. Some people still have that struggle. Some people will always have that struggle.
And that struggle is not a matter of availability of food. That struggle is a matter of lack of discipline and self-respect, ma'am.
That could very well be true.
That's not a could be. That's not a could be. There's not a nutritionist, dietitian, or doctor in America who's going to tell you that it's anything else. If you're going to try to make the argument that there is some biological thing that's afflicting Black women at rates that different from other women, then you got to go to some place like Africa or South America where that problem doesn't exist. So no, this is a self-inflicted behavioral problem, ma'am. Not a biological one or a physiological one. I'm not disagreeing with you. Then let's speak of it.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Let's not speak about it like we don't know where it comes from. Like I said, now you're being dishonest to act like there's some outside reason that's beyond control. The problem is 100% within their control. Now, if somebody's going to get on my program and try to claim it's something different, next thing you're going to be talking about the earth is flat. I don't make my program available for people who deny science and facts. So if the next thing you're about to say is this is not 100% under black women's control, then we have nothing else to discuss because I don't make my program available to make believe. So is this an issue that is 100% under black women's control, how their bodies look? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
All right. So glad we found common ground. Continue.
People still make choices. People still make bad choices to eat badly for whatever reasons. This particular woman is not on the top 10 list of coveted women that black men choose. She found somebody that loved her, and that should be okay.
Would you want your daughter? Would you want your daughter to make this choice, Chris? Since you're acting as if this is just, this is the way she is. Would you want your daughter to make that choice?
I want my children to be loved and go where they're celebrated,
that's not answering my question. Would you want your daughter, if you are defending her ability to make this choice, would you like your daughter to make that choice?
What choice are you talking about? Marrying the man or being overweight?
Okay, Christelyn. Can I call you Christelyn? Christelyn, do you believe that a woman's outside is reflective of her inside?
No, because I think that people on the outside can appear a certain way and be totally different on the inside.
I'm glad you said that. Christelyn, do you believe that a man's outside is indicative of his inside?
My answer would be the same.
So a man's outside is not indicative of who he is internally.
Well, it depends on what you're talking about.
Okay, it depends. Now for the women it didn't depend, but for the men, it depends. Oh, interesting.
We're talking.
That man hating.
You don't have to gotcha me. We're just having a conversation. You don't have to gotcha me.
Man, it's not a gotcha. I'm repeating your words. It's not a gotcha. I'm repeating your words.
It's a civil conversation.
Ma'am, I'm repeating your words.
You don't have to gotcha me.
Yeah, I'm repeating your words. If it feels like a gotcha, you might want to monitor what your thoughts. This might be the first time you actually realize, oh hell, I'm screwed up on this. This ain't a gotcha if I'm repeating your words. I'm just repeating your words.
I think that people can present a certain way and be different than who they are on the outside. That goes for men, that goes for women.
Okay, are you saying that a person's outside has no bearing or indication of what they are inside?
That's not what I'm saying. Don't play gotcha. Let's just have a civil conversation.
There's nothing uncivil about what I just said. Get off the Prozac. All I did was ask a question. You're being ultra defensive because you realize now that you don't really have an ideology you can defend. Because, for example, Christelyn, we don't talk over the host.
That's what I called to say.
We don't talk over the host here. We don't do that. That's uncivil and hood radish. And you wouldn't want to be that now, would you?
You're going on a tangential plane.
Okay.
My
Christelyn, we wouldn't want to be a hood rat, would we? Because talking over men is a masculine trait. And you wouldn't want to be a square-jawed masculine female now, would you?
Oh, I certainly don't think I'm that.
Well, you're certainly acting like it, so I'm bringing it to your attention. So maybe you can tone it down a bit. But by the way, your square jaw is sticking out. I'm giving you a moment to address that because I wouldn't want people to think of you as a masculine, combative, belligerent black female.
I think I've been pretty composed.
Ma'am, you've been pretty combative. You've been pretty mean and pretty combative. If this is the best representative of your swirling position you can be, baby, you've done me a hell of a lot of favors. All I gotta do is play this call and say, count how many times she speaks over me. All I gotta do is just say that. Just start counting. No, take a shot. Every time she speaks over me, take a shot. Everybody will be flat ass drunk. So that wasn't me talking. That's you doing it. All I gotta do is replay it. That's all. But you know what, Christelyn? I would like to ask you a question that maybe you can help me to understand. Because years ago, I did have something I wanted to ask. I noticed that in all this time, you have never advocated or made a program, and I don't follow you like that, so I couldn't say. Maybe you have recently and I just didn't notice it. And you can post it in the chat, since you did post your super chat, by the way. Thank you very much. I would like to know about, since you believe that people should go where they are celebrated, not tolerated, and obviously you would never advocate for unfair treatment between men and women now, would you?
No, I would not.
I'm glad to hear that. Will you please advise everybody right now the reasons why a black man should marry or date white women and give preferential treatment to marrying or dating white women?
I think that if it's their preference and that's what they like and that's how they rock, then that's how they
Okay,
can
but no, that's not what I asked. That's not what I asked. I asked, will you explain why they would?
I can't be in the mind of a man.
No, ma'am. Okay, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you have made a career out of explaining why it is that black men don't appreciate black women and thus they need to go where they are, quote, appreciated, not tolerated. That doesn't take you being a black man to understand the inverse. I don't ever see you trying to promote white women being with black men. So you only want to stand up for
They can if they want to.
No, but you haven't given us,
but
you haven't explained why they should be. Shouldn't the reasons for them be exactly the same as the reasons that you have always given for black women?
If that's what they want to do.
No.
They want to write a book about.
Not if.
Absolutely. I'm answering your.
No, I'm saying tell the reasons. I'm saying list the reasons. You've always listed the reasons why black women should date white men. Will you please list the reasons that a white woman should be dating, that a black man should prefer to date a white woman?
Okay. Well, if, is this a hypothetical situation? Am I going to be able to speak?
No, I'm saying you see the real world just like I do. If you can give us, you spend your time listing off reasons why black women, ma'am, you spend your time listing off specific reasons why black women should date white men and give preferential treatment to white men. Please list the specific reasons that a black man should give preferential treatment in dating to white women.
If he wants to, let him rock.
It's not about if he wants to.
Everybody has a choice. If he wants to, let him go.
Okay. Do you believe that black men are celebrated and not tolerated by black women as a group?
I would say the majority do, and here's why. The majority of black women by far date and marry and procreate with black men.
And the majority of black men date and marry black women. And yet you somehow claim that black women are tolerated and not celebrated.
What I do say is that there are certain
wait. Let's not do that. That's not honest. Let's not do that. Okay, it is a two-way conversation. I said you cannot lie though. You keep saying that they are tolerated and not celebrated. Don't say, when I answer that question, that's rude for you to say, for me to ask you that and for you to try to sidestep it. That's a direct question.
Okay, can I answer the question? And I will give you a cogent answer if I'm allowed to do so.
Okay, you have not addressed the first question that I asked. That's what I mean. You did not address it.
Your first question
I asked you, do you believe that
a man, why would
I asked you, do you believe that black men are tolerated and not celebrated by the average black woman today?
I did answer that question. I said that I don't believe that is the case because the majority of black women marry, date, and prefer to marry and date and procreate with black men.
But yet you see the complaints that are being lodged, so you're just going to disregard that?
The complaints by whom and of what?
You hear the complaints from black men, so you're just going to disregard that and say that what they're saying isn't real?
Absolutely not.
Okay, then will you acknowledge it now?
I think
Because
that
you just said it's not accurate.
I think there's complaints on both sides. Absolutely there are. But they're different because the needs are different. The expectations are different. We are not the same.
How are the needs and expectations different?
Because you're a man and I'm a woman. I can have a baby. You can't.
Okay, what's that got to do with feeling tolerated, not celebrated?
We are different.
What does that have to do with feeling? What does that have to do with being feeling tolerated, not celebrated? What does that have to do with it?
Okay, so if you let me explain, I will.
I can give you 30 seconds. I can't give you 30 minutes to monologue. Try to condense it down to 30 seconds.
Okay, I appreciate that. There is a 72% out of wedlock rate within the Black community. We can argue about who's at fault with that, but that is the
That's not an argument. That's
truth.
not an argument. No, that's not an argument, but go ahead.
And it's a problem. It's a problem on both sides. There's also a problem with the fact that Black women outnumber marriageable Black men by 2 million. Also a problem is that only 43% of Black men actually do marry. And of that 43%, 20% marry interracially. And so that leaves the pool very small. I want Black women to date Black men, white men, Hispanic men, hell, Eskimos. I want them to go where they're loved.
Okay,
it doesn't matter to me. I celebrate Black love. If it's with two Black people, I celebrate that.
Okay, but here's the problem. No, that's a false statement because you say if it's between two Black.
It's actually in my book.
No, that is a false statement, ma'am, because if that were a true statement, you would also be promoting Black men to marry women who don't look like you. And you have never advocated to Black men. Let me take a few videos to extol and promote to you that you should marry and date women who don't look like me. Christelyn, you've never done that.
I'm not speaking to Black men because I'm a Black woman.
But you're not a white man either, but you are always praising and encouraging white men to talk to Black women, but you're not a white man. So how can you sit up here and how can you speak to white? Okay, but you are always, but you're always talking. No, ma'am, you've made a whole website and a whole career specifically soliciting white men, but you're not a white man, but you certainly want to speak for them about why they should date Black women. You've made whole videos about here are the pros of white men dating Black women, but you're not a white man. So you're not in their heads, but you have no problem speaking for their heads on their behalf. So why you give it to them and not to Black men?
Black men are free to date and marry whoever they choose.
Christelyn, the word is checkmate. That's the word. The word is checkmate. Supposedly you can't speak for Black men. Supposedly you can't speak for Black men because you're not a Black man, but you spent your whole half your adult life speaking for white men. And saying all the pros of dating Black women
about dating interracially.
And you've spoken specifically to the pros saying white men, here's why you should be with a Black woman. But you will not do the same for white women to say, our white sisters, let me give you some of the pros of why Black men should prefer to be with you. And the reason you won't do that is because you're not going to tell white women, hey, here's the reason Black men should date someone who doesn't look like me. The only thing you're interested in is for yourself. And by the way, I do have to speak on behalf of Black men everywhere where I say it takes a certain type of mental and emotional imbalance to be married to a white man and make a career of talking about Black men. Because if I was your husband, I'd have left you at a bus station in Poughkeepsie somewhere. If I woke up every day and you were talking about Black men as much as you do, because clearly you're obsessed with Black men. And the only reason you got the white guy around is for gutter sex. And if I were him, I would be too offended to have a wife who makes a career out of this kind of thing. But that's just for me right here. He's probably different, and what he's getting from you is probably, some really mammy-ish Aunt Jemima things. So, I mean, hey, to each his own there, I understand. But I would just say if it were me, there's no way in the hell I would have my wife talking about how much she doesn't like Black men and then is running around talking about that. I just wouldn't do that myself. It takes a special type of emotional imbalance to marry a white man and spend all day talking about black men. This is some cuck behavior. If I may just be brutally honest, this is some cuck behavior. If I were him, I would tell you the very next YouTube video, post, or comment you make about a black man, I am out of here. But then again, he and I are two different types of people. I'm a man and he's married to you.
Well, luckily I'm not married to you.
Dear, you're
We can both agree on
you're
that.
40 something years old. Ain't nobody checking
And
for
gorgeous.
you, babe.
And gorgeous.
Okay, and
Look
that's
at my
gotten you
pictures.
what?
I'm gorgeous.
First of all, that's an opinion.
gorgeous.
First of all, that's an opinion. Second of all, so what? Halle Berry's gorgeous and she beats the socks off of you, and both of you are not really, and neither of you is
still
something a black
getting
man
checks for
wants.
her.
And neither of you is something that a black man's trying to wife up or keep. Imagine that.
Good.
Imagine that.
Good.
What is a black man
That's
gonna do?
wonderful.
What is a black man gonna do with a 45-year-old over the hill swirler black female? What's he gonna do with you, Christelyn? What? Tell me.
I don't care. That's
Yes,
the
you
beautiful
should,
thing.
because
I don't care.
if they can't do anything
I
with you,
really
then you're
don't.
not gorgeous. If they can't do nothing with you, that's like a Ferrari with no motor. You're not gorgeous. You're just a used to be gorgeous, used to be car. Trying to get
Okay,
by,
hun,
trying
if
to
that's what
talk.
you think.
You're trying to talk your
I'm
way
glad
into
a lot of the men
desirability.
don't believe what you believe.
Dear,
It's all about the numbers, ladies.
The only thing that
Go
a
with
man's
the
gonna do with
celebrated.
Christelyn is have
You don't
sex
need to
with
be
her,
with a man
but he
who
ain't
talks
gonna
to you
keep
like this.
her. Nobody's gonna
Doesn't
keep
have to
you.
insult you.
You're gonna be like
Doesn't have to talk
Sidibe.
down
By the
to
way,
you.
Sidibe can get
Doesn't
sex.
have to call you
What does
names.
that mean?
Lady,
Sidibe is able to get men to have sex with her. And guess what? Christelyn can get dudes to have sex with her. You know what that proves? That the bar is just that damn low. It's not something big that you gotta hop over. The bar is just that low. And what does she come out with? Well, they'll have sex with me. They'll have sex with me. I'm gorgeous. They'll have sex with me. First of all, gorgeous is an opinion. It's an opinion. Second of all, it don't mean nothing. How many of them are willing to part with resources? Now, there's a better question. Everybody's willing to part with some sex. Is anybody willing to part with resources with Christelyn? Anybody? Anyone? Well, the girl who swirls hung up. The girl who swirls tapped out. Was it something I said?